Am I the asshole for refusing to cater to a pregnant/ill woman who has nobody to help her?
My husband is deployed overseas, and I have a newborn, and my 3-year-old niece over here by myself. I am taking care of her as my older sister is incarcerated. I have no family or friends around here to help me or give me a break. I'm already doing my part, and then some. I'm utterly exhausted and have no sleep schedule/routine for myself as the kids, especially the newborn, are expectedly demanding. To the point where I feel I'm to throw up if I don't get rest when I can. My husband met somebody overseas who is stationed at our base. He says his wife lives here, is pregnant, ill. He says mental illness like severe PTSD/anxiety, and cannot drive herself anywhere. He volunteered me to drive her around to her early AM appointments without asking me first. He loves helping people. I get it. But that's where I'm like, what about me? When he called me and told me about it, I said no. I physically cannot put in the extra work to take care of another human being, especially an adult whom I do not know, and he got upset with me because he already told his mate that I could help them. I can't. I genuinely cannot unless they want me to lose what little sanity I have left. I told him this, but he doesn't seem to think that I'm having that hard of a time, and could easily help somebody out in need. I am running on fumes and figured out how to manage with what I have. The extra work could quite literally break me. He thinks I'm being extremely insensitive, and how would I feel if I needed help, but there was nobody there to help me. I told him I needed help myself, but he thinks I'm being overdramatic. The mate is now disappointed, and the wife has nobody to bring her to her appointment early in the morning. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for rejecting a potential roommate for being pregnant?
Female 26, moved to a new place, and was looking for a roommate. This girl and I matched on the search website, and we talked about the apartment and our personalities and stuff and decided it'll be a great fit, but then she told me she was 6 months pregnant. I told her that's a deal breaker for me because I have 2 little nieces, so I've seen what a house looks like with a baby, and she went off on me. She basically implied that I was a selfish asshole who's immature and probably doesn't want a single mother roommate because of the stigma, and how I'm the reason women stay in abusive relationships because they have nowhere to go. I didn't think I was in the wrong, but the way she exploded on me kinda shook me, and now I don't know.
Am I the asshole for refusing to let my family meet my daughter after all of them dropped out of my wedding upon finding out my wife was pregnant?
I come from a conservative Christian family. All my family members were/are involved in the church and have church-based jobs. When they met my wife, they loved her and embraced her as their own. We dated for 2 years and discovered she was pregnant after we got engaged. Invitations were already given at the time, and we decided to still have the wedding on the date when my wife was 5 months in. My family were furious when they found out my wife was pregnant. They asked if we even still considered having a wedding. I said why not, but they were very upset, especially mom and dad, who said they've always been known for their decency and good Christian values and weren't willing to let this stain their reputation. As in my wife and I getting married while pregnant. They officially dropped out and refused to negotiate, saying it was done and I have only myself to blame for this outcome and should move the wedding out of town. I was hurt. I tried to change their minds and checked with other members, but my brother said he had no intentions to look like a joke in front of his fellow church members and dropped out. My aunt pretended to be sick and said she may not be able to make it. She's 100% healthy. My cousin said he had a business trip and stopped his wife and kids from attending, and my uncle cussed me out, torn the invitation and kicked me out. I felt terrible with no family members of my own to support me and share my joy at my wedding. I even broke down crying after the ceremony. I haven't spoken to them for months and then got busy with my 4-week-old daughter. My cousin reached out to hand me gifts and well wishes for the birth of my daughter sent from my family. I returned everything. He sat with me on behalf of the family, saying I shouldn't have returned gifts that were from my family who want to see and hopefully be involved in my daughter's life. He said mom's longing to meet her grandbaby and everyone else is wanting to visit soon to celebrate my daughter's life. I asked him this question. I said, wasn't my daughter the reason why the entire lot of them abandoned my wedding? He just stared grudgingly as I went on about how they treated my daughter as something to be ashamed of and hide. My daughter at some point will ask about the wedding and I have no intentions of lying to her. He replied saying he guaranteed I got it all wrong and no matter what goes down between us I can never deny that my daughter is their granddaughter/niece/etc. and they're her family. He asked that I arrange for them to visit, but I refused. He kept pressing the idea, but I shut him down. My wife says I should let them come, but I still refused.
Am I the asshole for not letting my pregnant sister live with me?
For context, I, 22F, live in a 2-bed apartment. My sister, 26, is 6 months pregnant and lives with her boyfriend. Long story short, her boyfriend is an asshole. My family hate him. Every time it's the same story, they fight/break up. He kicks her out. She moves in with me. We talk about her relationship and future. She says she's not getting back with him ever again, etc. And then within a few days, she is speaking to him again, and then within another few days living with him again. Rinse and repeat. Well, the last time it happened was my last straw. I was going on holiday with friends for 10 days, but 3 days before I was meant to leave, my sister shows up at my home with her bags. They've broken up again, but this time it seems permanent. I comfort her for the 3 days and even offer to not go on vacation, and she and I can spend the week together. She says no and insists I go and enjoy myself. So I do. When I leave, she's still heartbroken, and I still feel pretty guilty, but I've saved up for this holiday for a while, and probably won't get the opportunity again for a while because of COVID. When I arrive home, my apartment is a state. Dishes piled up everywhere, rubbish all over the place, laundry in every room, etc. It was filthy, and I was angry. I run up to the spare room I let my sister use, and find her and her boyfriend in bed. The boyfriend that she was never getting back together with. I never gave her permission to let him into my home because I don't like him, and I don't want him there. At this point, I'm angry, but I've also been traveling overnight, so I'm pretty exhausted. I calmly tell her to pack her stuff and both of them to get out. They left with some fuss and didn't offer to clean or anything. The next day she comes round to get some of her stuff, and I tell her that she's no longer welcome to stay in my home. She can visit during the day, but she will never be sleeping here again. She took an attitude and said she didn't care. Fine, whatever. She wants to treat me and my home with that level of disrespect, then I don't have to go out of my way to help her out. So, when she got pregnant, my family basically reiterated to her that her BF is not a good guy and she's leaving herself. Financially vulnerable by not getting her own place, he's manipulative, etc. Nothing is stopping her from getting her own place, she's just too lazy, and wants everything handed to her. Well, I reiterated to her that if she wants to stay with her boyfriend, then she better not come crawling to me when he kicks her out again. She gets mad, says she doesn't need me anyway, etc., but I repeat it, making myself very clear. That brings us to now. She's 6 months pregnant, BF has kicked her out again, and she has nowhere to go. Parents don't have the room for her or a baby, NVM both. I've repeated my stance from before, and now she's calling me an asshole. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for buying my heavily pregnant sister high heels as a gift?
Hi all. My 30F sister Rachel, 35F, is pregnant, due in a couple of weeks. She's a senior financial analyst and will be going back to work once the baby is born. Her boyfriend Ted, 27M, is wonderful and is taking time out to look after the kid. Rachel has a very impressive collection of shoes. Most of them are heels, and she's been unable to wear them due to being very pregnant. I had a long video call with her the other day, where she was saying that she misses going shoe shopping and trying on and buying new ones. With that in mind, I decided to treat her. I ordered a pair from her favorite designer, and gave them to her as a gift. I thought she'd be delighted, but she didn't react how I expected at all. She said, "Is this some sort of sick joke?" and started berating me for buying her heels when I know she can't wear them. Obviously, the idea isn't for her to wear them right now, they're for whenever feels able to wear heels again. Her shoes are her favorite thing, and she misses wearing them. I thought a new pair for when she's ready might cheer her up. I'm in tears. I honestly didn't mean to upset her. I spoke to our parents about it, and while they don't think I was wrong, they think I should apologize for upsetting her. Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for putting my pregnant daughter in front of my depressed stepdaughter?
I'm on mobile and I've not spoken English since 2004, so please bear with me. I, 46F, have a daughter Katie, 18F, fake name, from a previous relationship. I've been married to a man, 50 meters, with 3 kids, 18F, 15 meters, 12 meters, for the last 5 years. My stepchildren and I have an okay relationship, but unfortunately, Katie and his daughter, who I'll call Rose for the sake of the post, haven't had the best relationship. I'll admit my daughter was the problem, which even therapy didn't help. It's got to the point if the Rose has it, Katie wants it. I try to play peacemaker by helping the girls share, but it ends up with me and my husband's ex having issues. 5 months ago there was drama because of a boy whom Rose was dating. It caused my other stepkids to pretend like Katie didn't exist and say mean stuff to each other while Katie was in the room. I tried to make them all make up till I found out Katie was pregnant with Rose's ex, who is now living in America with his aunt. I said enough was enough and we all needed to put everything behind us for Katie and her baby's sake. My stepdaughter screamed rude stuff at us, so I banned her from our home till she got her attitude in check. She didn't, and as of October is not my problem nor her father's anymore. But her siblings have set out to make Kate's life hell. They'll call her the Queen of Whores and tell her to go fuck herself when she asks them to do anything. It came to a point where tonight I found Katie crying. Apparently she asked her stepbrothers for some for their pizza and they threw it in the garbage in front of her and saying this is for a Rose. I blew up at them and demanded a family meeting to put an end to this bullying, Rose and my husband's ex included. When everyone arrived I explained what happened and told them it was disgusting to bully a pregnant woman like this, then asked my stepsons if they wanted to be a part of their niece/nephew's life. They replied with no, because my slut daughter nor her kid means shit to them. Both I and my husband lost it. Thereby I stood up and screamed, what about my daughter? What Katie did to her? I simply told her my daughter's life and pregnancy was more important than her daughter's depression and heartbreak over a silly high school boyfriend. It ended up with my husband's ex calling me and my daughter two ugly whores, then telling my simp husband she'd see him in court. My stepchildren called my husband a bad father and pussy, then said their grandfather was the only decent man they had to look up to, then took their leave. Since then I've had multiple calls from my husband's family calling us the asshole, but I think my pregnant daughter, regardless of what she's done, deserves some empathy because her baby is innocent in all this.